What's up, everybody? Good afternoon. Welcome to Racing Dudes live coverage of what's going to be a back-to-back, first of maybe three straight epic Saturdays. Aaron Halterman with me today. And October 1st, what a way to kick off the 10th month of the year, buddy. Much better than Hocus Pocus 2. We've got a wonderful lineup of racing, and we're starting with the Woodward Stakes here pretty soon.
Yeah, my apologies to everybody that waited so long for Hocus Pocus 2. It was not great. We shared the same thoughts. Our wives are both big Hocus Pocus fans. So, yeah, it wasn't great. It wasn't great. But hopefully we see some great racing here. And we're going to kick it off with Life is Good. We're 4 minutes to post. He's 1-9. There's no surprise there. And, I guess the big question is, it is a sloppy track. Do you think that's going to have any effect on him?
No, he goes to the front. Horses that if they have problems with the slop, it's usually because they're getting hit with it in the face and they don't like it. He's on the rail. He's the fastest horse early. It's really just a matter of who's going to play your exacta here.
Yeah, no, exactly. I kind of thought the 2 had a shot here at 27-1. Of course, all these prices are very inflated, but I thought a 1-2 straight exacta might not be the worst thing in the world. I know Samich liked a 1-2-4 try, but that was before he knew that the 3 Thomas Shelby had scratched. That's your other speed in the race, the 3-horse Thomas Shelby, who's out now. So it really is Life is Good and some horses that like to come from out of it. There's just not a whole lot you can do here. As I look at the pools and the probables, 1-2 exacta is paying $4. The 1-4 exacta is paying $1. So that's pretty incredible. So I would try that 1-2 straight exacta here. You can't get creative in this spot, and hopefully, you kind of get lucky with that.
Yeah, with you. And I know what Mike also liked about the 2, and especially with it coming up sloppy or muddy, whatever the condition is right now, is that Law Professor, a son of Constitution through the Tappa bloodline, should like to slop. Comes out of a Ghost Zapper mare, and that right there screams I should love getting hit with the fates with some wet dirt there. So the Dam did pretty well racing on some off tracks in her time as well. So I think this horse has got a great chance to get second. If you're watching this, and let us know in the chat, what do you think about this race? I know it's not the most exciting way, but we'll kind of get it out of the way early because after this, the fireworks really take off. Before I say that, or actually, I guess right after I say that, what happens for Life is Good to be upset here? What does it actually take for Life is Good to be upset?
He just doesn't fire. He doesn't handle the track. Things that you can't really predict or are very hard to predict. You take a shot with one of the other 3 horses and just hope, that Life is Good doesn't show up. I do think it's kind of a big situation. Let's see how he finishes up today. He didn't finish up great in the Whitney. I think you need to see a sharp Life is Good down the stretch. And don't worry about if he wins by 100 or if he wins by 5. Worry about how he looks down the stretch. Remember last year in the Lucas Classic, a race we're going to talk about a little bit later on this show, but last year in the Lucas Classic, Nixgo was in that race, overmatched that field. You just could tell, boy, he finished full of run. He finished like a horse that's ready for the next challenge. Let's see if we see that from Life is Good. He didn't really do that in the Whitney. He was a little iffy coming down the stretch of the Whitney. Irad swerving in and out, but let's see what happens today in this spot.
You do kind of wonder what if Irad had just kept him straight, what would have happened. Now, Life is Good is notoriously a horse that doesn't cut the turn. He always comes about 3-4 lanes off the turn in the stretch like that. And so Irad was trying to protect the rail because Happy Saber was coming. So it makes you wonder what he would have been able to do running straight. Chris Mile in the chat, always good for a comment, says, respect to Aqueduct on its biggest day, the fake Belmont meet, to have a standard awful Aqueduct track, sloppy and yielding. Yeah, that's I turned it on and I was like, this might as well just be like, February to Aqueduct the way it looks right now.
One of those days where they got a lot of rain early and the sun's not coming out. And it's cloudy, it's damp, it's cold. It's New York racing in the fall/winter. It's definitely true. And Chris, as you probably know, you've been following and Magic as well. Really haven't had a lot of weather up to this point. It's been pretty nice at Aqueduct on these days. So it is what it is, right? Hopefully we haven't seen this turf course, and we're going to talk about that race 8, race 9. Who knows how that's going to play? It looks pretty damp, so we'll see how it goes.
I wonder if anybody really was going to try and play against Life is. It's just so hard to try and make a legitimate case against him here. Aaron brought up a great point. Watch how he finishes this race, assuming he runs the way we think he's going to. I wasn't a fan of the fact that in Dubai, it's a track that notoriously plays well to speed and horses on the front end. And I thought he had everything his own way and couldn't hold on. I didn't like that look, but it is an overseas thing. He did ship that's the only time he's ever had to ship overseas. So you don't know if it took something out of him. He did come right back from that race and look impeccable in the Nehru. But we'll see what he is able to do here post time. This is always the hardest part of these live shows. You've got a 4-horse field with a 1-9 favorite. We're just trying to kill time before we can watch this race. And then at least it's not 1.25 miles. That could be worse.
Yeah, no, absolutely right. Yeah, just 1.1 miles to talk about how he's loose on the lead and analyzing every stride that he takes. Yeah, again, I mean, this is not a race where you go, all right, this is what we're looking for from a betting standpoint. Again, you take him and you either play 1-2 straight or a 1-5 straight, or you just take a small shot against Life is Good and hope he doesn't show up. That's what you do. You can't play the 1-4 exacta. It's not paying anything. Like said, 1-2 exacta is paying 4-1. Look, that's not horrible. You take a little swing that way, or like said, you just try to leave him out and hope to get lucky. So looks like they're finally to the gate. They've been walking around forever here. So we'll see. I mean, I don't know how much you can really learn from this, but hopefully that last 1/8 of the mile, at least he looks solid.
Yeah. It's Aaron and I are in Mike. We're going to go with the 1-4 straight exacta here. Is it still paying 4-1? I didn't. Let me check.
No, 1-2 straight.
I'm sorry, 1-2. Yeah.
Yes.
And it's now paying $3.
Okay. That's still not awful for a 1-9 on top. So yeah, it's just the 1-4 you gotta just stay away from, and then you either play a 1-2 or a 1-5 if you want to use Life is Good, and just play it straight, and hope you pick the right second place horse here.
All right, keep me in mind in the gate, waiting for informative for the Woodward Stakes. Life is Good, 1-9 heavy favorite. The power play on the website, not a surprise there. See how he handles the slop.
Here we go.
Come on. There they go.
And like always, he catches an absolute flyer out of the gate.
And they came right off the rail.
Yeah, got him right off. Well, look, it looks like a swamp down on that rail.
Yeah, I don't blame him for that. There are no tracks that low. Well, keep me in mind's going to try it. Okay.
Well, I mean, we'll see what happens.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, listen, that's one of the reasons why he's tough to kind of get too early, is because he does catch those flyers out of the gate most times. I remember the Whitney, we were standing right by the gate, and I was like, whoa, he's already 3 in front, so comfortable in hand, looks just fine so far.
Yeah, and his ears are pricked very high. He looks very comfortable on the slop right now. Doesn't seem like it's bothering him too much.
Yeah, he looks just fine. Just nice and easy. They all look fine. I'm surprised they're this close to him, but boy, they are really going slow. He's not using that elite speed at all right now. So we'll see. They're starting to get to him a little bit. I would imagine one little shake of the reins and he kind of kicks back clear, and there he kind of goes.
Mm-hmm. And Law Professor is going to take second here.
Yep.
So there's the 1-2 exactas in play. Now, the Law Professor, he's actually going to get challenged here.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
Professor's coming up to him, and we'll see if Life is Good responds here at the top of the stretch. And the 4 is starting to make the move too. So we'll see what happens.
Oh boy.
This doesn't look great. We're going to have a race on our hands, I think. Life is Good starts to stretch back out a little bit, but he's under the whip. We're going to hit our 1-2 exacta, I think.
Yeah, we are.
Not what you wanted to see from Life is Good, in my opinion.
Well, you know what? I'll agree with you on that one. So he's going to get the win by what, a length and a half there. And then 1-2-4, which was Mike Samich's try for this race. Well, okay. So you don't like what you see from Life is Good. If you're a supporter of Life is Good, you don't like that Law Professor challenged him like that. If you were like me and you were looking to play against Life is Good in the Breeders' Cup Classic, well, his price just got worse, even worse. So, when I say play against, I don't want him anywhere in my exacta trifecta. That confirms it for me. I still don't want him, but at least price-wise, it didn't help me.
Yeah, no, it didn't. I'm, again, we talk about, hey, it's 1-9, and everybody throws a fit. Well, you just got 3-1 on that exacta, so that's good. I mean, and you never really had to sweat it. Really, the only thing you had to sweat was the two might win the race at a point there. Life is good,
Yeah.
not fully extended or anything like that, but boy, they tapped him on the shoulder a few times today. Yeah, I think you're right. You're a little worried if you're like, okay, maybe that's our alternative in the classic. I rank the top 10 Breeders' Cup horses for the classic each week. He's been number 2. I did not like that performance all that well, knowing what's going to have to be next for the source.
His stride seems shorter than other horses at the classic level. Like if you watch we'll not even use Flightline because he's in the other world. They use an Epicenter, use a Taiba, Olympiad. When they get comfortable in the stretch and they start elongating their stride, he's still like quick and it almost looks like sprinty. A little bit there. So he's got a world of talent. And how many grade ones is this for him now? Life is good, especially if you're the owners of Life is Good. But let us know what you think in the comments below, in the chat, in the YouTube show. Thanks for watching with us. We'll see you at the track. All right. I hate it. I should have said that beforehand. Guys, we're doing a live show. We're also doing reactions. So there's going to be a lot of that shit. So bear with us for those awkward moments. Boy.
He didn't look like he normally looks. And I was kind of got on the shows the week after the Whitney and said, come on. He won the Whitney, he beat a good field, and it wasn't that nice of a track, blah, blah, blah. But here, I didn't think he looked great.
It's funny because all these things are true. And it was a paid workout. It was dull. It was wretched. And you know what? I played the straight exacta for $10. So that was pretty great. Like,
Well, and we've ranted on
$30.
all of our platforms about that. Stop freaking out when there's a 1-9 and just do exactly what we just did. And, you make 1-9 into 3-1. So that's kind of how that works. Yeah, listen, I have been saying all week, I'm really excited to see him down the stretch. And oh boy, not sure. Good question here. I think I would go to the mile, honestly, after that.
Yeah. I mean, there's no way you're beating Flightline after that. You see that. You know that. You're not beating Flightline, and you're probably not beating Epicenter and Taiba. Who else am I forgetting? Olympiad, maybe?
Maybe, yeah.
Like, maybe. So there's just too many things where it's not one horse you're not going to be able to beat there. So whereas you go to the dirt mile and then you go to the Pegasus, try and win that again, because is Flightline going to show back up for the Pegasus that quickly? Probably not.
Yeah, that's it. And Christopher's right. It's hard to go to the mile after he's done that, after he's won all these grade ones this year. You kind of have to go to the classic and give it a shot. I don't know. I was pretty disappointed because I've been kind of bullish on him, thinking he can rebound. But from that 1.25 mile loss and come back and run a lot better the next time he tries it. But that did not look special today. Huge win for the Connections, another grade 1, so that's good.
And he says, the mile doesn't do anything for his value. I'm talking about what does he actually have a shot in hell of winning. Yeah. If I want to win a race at the Breeders' Cup with him and I go to the dirt mile, breeding wise, absolutely. You go to the classic with this horse because winning the dirt mile a second time does nothing for his stud value. And hell, getting 8th in the classic is not going to do anything to his stud value. Take a shot, see what happens.
At this point, that's the thing. It's like, if you don't think he's going to win, even if he gets second, let's say in the classic, it's really not going to do anything significant for his stud value. At this point, it's more of just you probably try the classic because we already got that mile. So no big deal. So yeah, we'll see. It's a nice win. It's a grade 1 win, and he got another one under his belt, as you kind of mentioned. And he's been a fantastic horse. He would be the number 1 horse in the land if not for Flightline. But yeah, in the classic, we've got some tough horses coming up to face him, even if Flightline isn't there. So
dollar exacta paid $345 from that race. It's pretty good. So let's move from one short field to another one. At least this one, we've got two horses we can kind of talk about here. The Miss Grillo Stakes. We're going to be race 8 here, second at Belmont, the Big A. We'll eventually go to Churchill Downs once they get their stakes going. But the Miss Grillo here, 6 horses, Aaron, and I honestly forget which one that you picked, or did Mike do this one? Mike might have done this race. For me, my top pick here was going to be the 2 Free Look for Chad Brown. Did lose to Be Your Best, who is undefeated and a stakes winner coming into this, but I thought Free Look for Chad Brown, that was my top pick. What about you?
Same. Yeah, same. I definitely think Free Look is going to move forward off of that effort last time out. Be Your Best did get the best of Free Look on debut, but really Free Look improved a lot that second race. I do like Be Your Best a little bit in this spot, but I just trust Chad Brown a little bit more here. So we're on the same horse. I've heard a lot of people talk about Pleasant Passage. That's a horse I really didn't consider too much. What did you think of that one?
An interesting one, I think. For Shug McGahee, has a couple horses where they don't on turf that won on debut at Saratoga going 2 turns. And it's not usually a Shug thing. The other one was Battle of Normandy, and I think that one's a little bit more of an impressive winner than Pleasant Passage. I think that she's great for third. I think with Chad Brown, with his horse in here, with Horatio DePaz's horse, it's hard for me to kind of get around, both of those horses here. But I think definitely hitting the board, she's got a great chance.
Yeah. I don't know. She's gonna have to prove an awful lot. Usually they do improve a little bit second out though for Shug. So we'll see if maybe that horse can get going a little bit. Alluring Angels, another horse I kind of thought of, but can the horse stretch out? So we'll see.
Yeah, I figure we got plenty of time. We got 23 minutes to kill. This is Pleasant Passage's race. She was, I want to say, the rail horse. This race, do you remember? No, the rail horse was second.
Let's see. She was number 4 horse.
Yeah, there we go. She's doesn't even have a chiclet on the screen. That's helpful. Oh, there she is. She's mid-pack, right about there. So I'll fast forward it a little bit because she's going to sit in this position for a while until they hit the stretch. But this is where I thought that she had to show some good fight inside of the horses here. You don't usually see debuting 2-year-olds fight through the rail like that underneath. And then she got passed by the 1 and she had to re-engage. She's going to get up there just in the final jumps. Like, I thought that was a pretty impressive way to come back and to show some fight. I also don't think she just has that turn of foot that Free Look or Be Your Best have.
Yeah, I think she can move forward off of the effort, but that's just it. Doesn't have a lot of flash to her. Now, again, we don't really know how this turf is going to play. We have not seen a race on it all day. So that'll be kind of interesting to see how it plays. But yeah, she didn't have the jump, that kind of that flash that we're talking about as some of these other ones, and that's kind of where I went. I mean, if you pull up, I don't know who you're pulling up now, but Free Look or Be Your Best really had a big move in them.
Yeah, this is going to be Free Look. She's going to be the 4 horse. I'll pull it ahead a little bit. By the way, look at this big gap that she's 5th. Yeah. And she has that huge gap that she's going to have to close into as well. 30th Al Calvin was a horse I watched a couple of times at Saratoga thinking might turn into something and didn't quite do that. I'm reminded of that watching her about to fall apart on the lead here.
Yeah. Some of those that kind of broke your heart. You always remember when you see the replays back. But yeah, you come on the outside like a lot of Chad Brown runners on the turf too.
Such a big sweep.
Yeah, big sweeping move, and now you just see look at that right there. That's where you're not seeing that from Pleasant Passage. That quick acceleration where they just bury you in a race. Free Look was able to do that. Chad's horse Tomorrow in the Pilgrim. I'm Very Busy also was able to do that, breaking the maiden. So that's what we're looking for. And if you go up, I don't know if you had Be Your Best replays. He or she, I should say, has done the same thing in both starts. Really just kind of buried you in a moment's notice there. So that's kind of the thing. If it's a grinded out type of race, I think Pleasant Passage can win. But one of these big moves, I think, are likely to win this race. But whether it be the 2 or the 6.
Oops, shut up. I have to turn the sound off there. Be Your Best. This is the one I'll pull up here. She's going to be the 6 horse. Mike Ryan is a bloodstock agent. If you don't know this, has bought a lot of the big horses that Chad Brown has been sent from overseas. He's an overseas bloodstock agent. He bred this horse himself, and he knows what he's doing with this horse. So it's been pretty fun to watch what he's done with her so far. What I like about her that's different, Aaron, is that she's forwardly placed. She is sitting pretty close to the front, and you're going to see the fractions here are going to be pretty slow. I don't know who gets the lead in this race. Is it going to be Alluring Angel? But there isn't much speed in this field. And to me, that says having a horse like Be Your Best, maybe her tactability here, plus her experience having won this stakes race that we're watching, might give her the advantage over our girl Free Look.
Yeah, and that's just the big key, right? You're able to see a little bit of an explosion at the top of the stretch here by this horse, but setting 2-3 lengths closer to the lead than the other one we just talked about in Free Look. So yeah, I mean that's the thing. Can that horse keep doing it? And last time out won on a good track at Saratoga as well. So that's another thing to kind of keep in mind. But yeah, and you see in this spot, and this is that race that you've got up there. You see in the spot, this horse, that's where you really want one. Ideally, that's where you want a horse to sit, right? You don't really want a deep closer. You don't want one that has to have the lead, just one that'll sit and go for you. And that's what you're going to see here. Just a strong rally from this horse up the rail. Look at that right there. Buried him, and that's on the turf. That's a lot, just to be able to bury a field quickly and make it to where, hey, even if there are horses closing, I'm so far ahead now that it's not going to matter.
She actually thought in that race, I thought that it did not get a great trip. If you watch her, he's still waiting. All right, now like he had to wait for room to open up on the rail. So whereas the 5, another Chad Brown horse, is going and struggling to keep up, she just, the second there was a hole, it's just very push button. So very nice filly.
Well, and you talk about fillies, we talk about all the time, ones that'll make moves inside of horses, especially if they're inside and then the rail is right to their inside past that. That takes a little bit of maturity, a little bit of guts, if you want to call it that, and so for her to do that in just the second lifetime start there, that's a good sign. That's a good sign that she's a pretty nice horse. So definitely kind of excited to see what she does. I know Jared was excited about the 5. I'm Just Kidding. This Justify horse, lemon drop kid on the bottom, as far as a lemon drop kid mare. Tried the turf last time out in a New York bred stakes, going 5.5 and won and looked pretty good. So let's see if, you think this horse could stretch out today and run better.
She's the one, the rail horse here. And yeah, coming from 5.5 furlongs, I misspoke. I said Alluring Angel. This is the one I thought could end up being the pace setter coming from that 5.5 furlong sprint. Is this who you would see going possibly gate to wire?
I think so. I think that's the one you're going to want to look at here to try to take it gate to wire. I think with a little bit of moisture in the turf, you're going to get one of two things. Either the speed is just going to melt and fall apart, or they're going to get out in front and it's going to be hard to pass and they're all going to kind of run in place, right? So that's what you just don't know. I wouldn't hate to have the horse on the lead here. And like I said, I'm Just Kidding, not in front in this race, but remember, we're going 5.5 and now we're going to mile 16. So this horse naturally should be able to fall on the lead a little bit more, or a little bit easier, I should say, today. And then look at this horse re-rallying on the outside here, kind of green down the lane. It kind of looks like the best stride is hitting right about now, right? Mm-hmm. Because I don't really think this horse really wants to sprint. I think the horse really needs to stretch out. Look at this horse reach. Look at the reach of that horse through the stretch there, man. Just really extending that stride. So what a good idea. We'll throw in these replays up, Magic. I love watching the replays and kind of analyzing them with everybody.
Well, it's a good way to pass the time when there's 6-horse race, and Life is Good just kind of did that. I thought there was a Justify ad playing on TVG at the same time. I was like, well, that's just going to be kind of funny. But it's Vino Rosso. I forgot about him. He should be having we should be seeing his babies next year. Do we get his babies next year?
Yes, he would be next year. I'm 98% sure. That was 2019 he won it. Yep. So yeah.
And Justify was 18 and his babies are this year.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, all right, Vino Rosso. So in probably what 5 years, 6 years, he'll have a horse win in the Breeders' Cup Classic.
A lot like Curlin, as far as a late developing horse, got better with age, and that's kind of what you see with Curlin's offspring. So maybe with Vino, maybe we're not going to see a big time winner right out of the gate, bam, just crazy. But over time, they might improve and get better. He has a great pedigree, so he would be fun for sure to see.
Who haven't we talked? Well, we could talk about Alluring Angel. I'm not going to pull up the Kentucky Downs preview or replay because I just can't. I can't watch those, Aaron. I'm sorry, I can't. But we'll pull up her debut win at Saratoga. Abreu and Jose Ortiz, and she's gonna be the 4-horse. Or I'm sorry, Abreu is great with the turf sprinters. This horse is stretching out, but we're losing Ortiz and getting Jose Lezcano. I already know that you don't have her ranked that highly, but Jose Lezcano, he is a great rider on turf. I'd say he's better on turf than dirt.
Absolutely. It's a jockey downgrade from the fact that Irad jumped off, meaning he thinks another horse is better in the race, but Lezcano's riding ability is just fine. This is kind of the unknown horse, right? The 4 Alluring Angel coming out of 2 sprints, looked good in both of them. We're showing you the maiden debut victory for Alluring Angel. Very nice win coming from way out of it. That's not easy to do.
Second to last, right?
Yeah. Come back and ran second by nose at Kentucky Downs. The pedigree's all overseas, so I don't know a ton about what this horse is going to be, what this horse ultimately is going to want. Look, this is another horse, man, just really flying down the stretch here. Look at this.
And another one that seems like she's picking up her best stride halfway home. Like she figures it out and goes, "Oh, okay, this is what we do."
You assume with her pedigree that she'll want to go longer, right? With a horse from Australia on top and all European breeding on the bottom, you assume longer the better for this horse. But again, kind of the unknown for sure. Same as I'm just kidding. Very unknown what that horse might actually want to do, but you would assume go a little bit longer.
And she was Alluring Angel was the favorite in the Untappable Stakes at Kentucky Downs. In her second start, and just missed by a nose to a nice filly and Dance Macabre. And the Kentucky Downs is a wacky track, so you can forgive, if she didn't win as a favorite, she came within a nose. And I thought, she showed a lot of fight. Again, I'm not going to show the replay because it hurts too much to watch the camera angles and figure out where the hell it's going. Let's see. Is there anyone that we didn't talk about? Let's talk about the one Georgie Spirit. I'm still there we go. Oh, good. I'm not screen sharing DRF. I was like, they're gonna yell at me for doing that. Similar to the horse we just talked about, Alluring Angel, the horse that she beat in her debut, Koichan, was the favorite. The last horse for us to talk about, Georgie Spirit, also beat Koichan in that horse's next start and actually beat a little bit more by an angle, or by a length at Saratoga. So let me pull that up. That's going to be the 5-horse on the screen. Georgie Spirit, did you really give much of any consideration? To me, this seems like the last horse we talked about for a reason.
Yeah, I did give consideration because I think all of them kind of have an equal shot almost in this one. That's kind of going overboard, but I do think all of them got a nice shot to win. Yeah, this one got a huge speed figure for that race last time out. It's another horse that loses a jockey today. That's never a good sign. I don't know about this horse stretching out. I think 5.5, 6 furlongs would be pretty good for this one. That's kind of the question mark. I don't know what More Spirit is as a sire either. That's interesting. War Front mare, so we'll see what happens there. But look, you can't deny she absolutely flies down the stretch here and gets up there and gets it done by half length. She's another one, kind of seemed to be lengthening the stride as we got closer to the wire.
Mm-hmm. The 5-horse, I believe. Yeah. But it almost doesn't look like she's going to get there. And then all of a sudden, yep. So, man, like in a flash, she went from a couple lengths behind to winning by a length.
Yeah.
So going on to they're heading out of the track, and I see it. We still have a bit of time. We don't do too much international talk unless it's Ascot, and even then it's we more just have fun with it. But Chris brings up the Arc de Triomphe, probably one of the biggest turf races in the world, is coming up today. Have you looked at it? Do you familiar with who's running? Do you have an opinion?
I won't lie. I don't have any opinion on it. When you're me, you have to do every track in the United States, and that makes it tough to kind of to give a strong opinion on what's going on overseas in Europe. It's a great race. I don't mean that as any disrespect. We'll have some horses. Maybe if they don't come out of the ARC, they're going to come out of that card to run in the Breeders' Cup,
Yep.
and then that's when I will get really serious about them. But if you want a strong opinion on it, I don't have one.
Mishriff, I know, is in that race. It'd be pretty great to see. He could go. I actually read that he could come to America still for the Breeders' Cup. So it's rare that you get the ARC winner to come over. I remember Enable did it, and when Enable came over, we were just like in that Churchill Downs paddock, just like the literal Queen of England could have been next to Enable. It would have just been like, move. Dude, look at the horse. Like Enable is just gorgeous. Trocator
Yeah.
Tasso won the race last year. I don't know if I'd want to use him. Frankie Dettori is riding. So you know how we feel about that horse. Yeah, I think I'll probably go with Mishriff, but just because I also want to see the horse come over and try and do the double, the triumph, the ARC, and then turf double. We didn't talk about it in our group chat really. What do you think about Christoph Sumian? Elbowing the guy. You didn't watch that clip I sent you?
No.
Oh man. Oh darn! I said Bree brought up I saw a jockey suspension. This happened. I thought it was great that they did all the rating leading up to the Pennsylvania Derby. And I was only surprised that there were only 3 of them, Aaron. Only 3 of them got taken away.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I don't want to get too far in the woods here, but yeah, I am too. They're and I'm some of the names. Well, none of the names were really surprising. They have a reputation of that, and that's not surprising that happened. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. I did think it was nice that they were trying to, like, leading up to the biggest day. They're like, yeah, we're going to try and actually cut down on this for once. But please come back other days too. You know, you don't have to do it just once. You can keep checking.
I say Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays would probably be the best way to to go about that and try that out. Look, anything to kind of help the validity of the game is good. So that's what I'll say, and let's try to do that more often, right?
All right, I'm gonna pull up the clip here from this. I'm gonna show you this thing, and you're not gonna believe that this is actually. Looks like something that would have happened in America.
Okay.
All right, watch what's happening here. Yeah. Just elbowed him. He just elbows him right off the horse. And it's Christoph Sumian, one of the top riders in France. Boom, elbows it. Yeah. Well, it's a very violent fall in slow motion.
Holy cow! No, I hadn't seen that. Oh my goodness.
So what everybody's mad about is that the guy luckily walked away. He's okay. That it's a 2-month ban and it won't start till after the ARC. Like, this guy's getting to ride in the biggest weekend of the year in France. And it's like, what if Irad does this and then 2 days before the Breeders' Cup? Like, should he ride in the Breeders' Cup or Paco?
Well, no, absolutely not. But I imagine in the United States, we do the exact same thing, but no, he should be immediately suspended and out. I mean, and I kind of agree with Kevin. There is no more deliberate thing. It's one thing if he takes his horse and moves the horse out and is like, well, I couldn't control him. He literally, it's him. It's his body. He should be out for a year. I mean, look at this guy. This guy's bouncing his head's bouncing off the turf like a basketball.
I mean, look how far he comes out of the saddle right there. The side angle's the worst. He's almost completely out of the saddle to take the guy out. Oh,
thank God he's all right. My God.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. So anyways, whenever you think that things are rough in America with the stewards, just remember that it was only 2 months over there. So I mean, it was kind of attempted murder. It wasn't not attempted murder.
Yeah, can't argue.
It wasn't not. All right, we got 3 minutes to post here. If you're watching, thanks so much if you stuck with us for that one. Thanks for joining us. Let us know what you're thinking about. This race is a little bit more of a handicapping puzzle in the sense that we're not just trying to figure out what's a straight exacta. Aaron, let me ask you this. I know who your best bet is here, but what is your recommended play if you want to do an exacta?
Oh, exacta in this race. I am really interested in Jared's horse, the 5. So I'm going to put the 2 over the 5 as far as the straight exacta in here and try to get the 6 out of it. And we'll see. You're going to get, let's see what we're getting now on this one. We are getting, sorry about this. So you're getting $30. So, okay, let's think about this. The last race, you're getting 3-1. So you probably need to bet your $20, right? If you got a modest bankroll, 10, $20 on that one. This one, you don't have to bet near as much, $30. If you put $5 on that thing, 5 times 3 is 150. Well, 5 times 30, $150. So there you go. That's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to bet less here, try to use some of that money we just made and we just kind of got gifted to us. And try to just hit a big one with this one. So 2-5 straight. It's still a 6-horse field. I don't want to mess with a 2-6 straight because I'm not that confident. And I don't want to invest a ton of money in this one. I think all 6 of them got a good shot in this one. So I'll just go straight 2-5.
Yeah, I'll go with the 2. And listen, who am I to doubt the guys that built the company that now employs me? So let's go 2-5 here. I like that one. We can run with that one as well. So let's see here. Go ahead.
Just to throw out another thing, you look at the exacta probables for this one, right? They're all pretty high. I mean, compared to what we just saw. So the last race, you have to be precise with those bets. Straight bets, bet a decent amount of your bankroll. Straight bets. Here, you can get away with a box. You can't box 4 of them. You can box 2 or 3 horses in an exacta here and be fine. As long as you're not playing, both the favorites, right? One favorite, couple of the prices, and you can box and you can get away with it because the prices are there. So that's kind of the difference between when you have a heavy favorite. Look, you got to be precise. You got to be exact. When you've got kind of a spread out over the board here, keep one of the favorites out. You can play one if you want, or you can take them both out. Doesn't matter, but don't play both of them. As long as you get the favorite and a couple of your prices, you can get away with a box in this situation, if that's the way you want to play it.
So we're looking at the 2-5 exacta right now, 30-1. Chris Maiello also playing the 2-3, which is paying 19-1. That's with Pleasant Passage, the filly that we know is going to be coming from off the pace as well. So we could go that way. 32 Streets going with an upset, a 4 Alluring Angel over the 6 Be Your Best. That would be a pretty nice one as well. That actually only pays 16-1. Really?
4-6?
Oh, because the 6 is down to 6-5. I forgot about that. Be Your Best.
Yeah. Okay.
I forgot about that one. Dave Barista also liking the 4-6 angle there. With King the 2 and 3rd, and then 1-3 underneath. That could work. Listen, we had Georgie's Spirit could hit this board here. That was the one I saved for last and poo-pooed, and probably it'll bite me in the butt.
So this is the beautiful thing, and again, why I get so angry when people you can't bet a favorite. Okay, say you did your 1-2 exacta, and you say you did it for $20, and you made $60. Now you're up $60. You can just take 5, 10 of that dollar or those dollars and throw it on this, and now you could try to get a little bit of a ballooned price, so to speak. If you're an exacta player, 20-1, 30-1 on exacta, that's a really good price. And even 16-1 if you want to go to that 4-6, that's fine. Bet $5, $10 on it after you won the last race. If you miss it, hey, you still got a really good size bankroll to go on to the next one. So anyway, just a little rant from me.
I love it. All right, we're hitting the turf course here finally for the Miss Gorilla Stakes. Remember, this is a Breeders' Cup winning you're in for the Juvenile Fillies turf. Aaron, it's so hard to ask, what do you think about this Phillies' chances as we head to the Breeders' Cup? Because we don't know which Europeans are coming. We can only look at what happens. But do you think we could see a strong contender for that race come out of this one?
I do. I think, if the 6 wins again, certainly that's going to be a low-priced horse for the Breeders' Cup. If Free Look and the 2 wins for Chad Brown, a lot of people are going to be looking at that horse as well. So, yes, I do think you can see a contender. However, and I'll put the pause button on it, until you know what Europeans are coming over, you have no idea. So, based on who we know, this horse, the winner of this race, as far as horses in the United States, they're probably going to stand out a little bit, right? So We'll see what happens though. The Europeans and who comes over with the Europeans. That's the key to these Breeders' Cup Turf races. So we're in almost in the gate.
Yep. And one last note, Chad Brown has won this race since 2012, 7 times. Every other trainer in the world, 3. So we'll see what happens with Chad Brown and the 2 free look here. Klaravich Stables also the owner that's won it twice for him with 2018 and 2019. The 6 broke out a little bit, but not a terrible, not overly terrible. She's going to have to take back here a little bit, but
really interesting that the 3 gets the lead.
Yeah. And the 5 is being held back purposely.
Yeah, I'm really surprised by the trip here. Now the 2 says, well, if the 3's just going to go out there, I guess I'll go out with them because they can't be going all that fast. Pretty good move by Flavien to get that horse involved, I think.
At 23 and actually that 23 and 4 for the opening quarter, that's actually a little faster than I thought they would go.
I am beyond shocked that the 3 is out to the front here. One
I
don't
star feel about the 2-5.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it. But listen, this could be a heady ride here by Irad if the 3 kind of shows that speed and can take him. The 5's rallying up the rail, and now stopped. So we'll see what happens here. Really, the one that's not surprising is the 6. The 6 is about where we thought she would be.
Yeah. Pratt's going to get first run. He's going to be your best behind.
Well, we'll see. The 2 is breathing down the 3's neck, so we'll see if Free Look's got any run here and we can get this home. 5 is going to retreat, it looks like. Here we go.
All right. These 2 might pull away from him.
Oh, he just got bumped.
Yep.
This is going to be a battle because the 3's got away with Murder up front. The 2 is fully extended, can't get to him.
Nope.
Trying to wear him down and just cannot get there. 3 takes him gate to
nice. That's an impressive as hell effort from the 3. Holy smokes.
Yep. That's impressive.
Wow.
There is a bump at the top of the stretch. We'll look at that. With the way that the decision was yesterday at Belmont, you never know when they're going to take one down or not. But that's one that if I knew the 3 would have got that kind of trip, definitely would have been a lot higher on the 3, right?
Right. That's the exact trip that we thought the 5 was going to take. If you switch the 3 and the 5, that's how we thought that race was going to play out.
Yeah. Wow. Really surprised by the trip. Really, really surprised.
Almost 6 seconds flat for that final 16th over a yielding turf course. That's really good for a 2-year-old. She got a huge breather on the backstretch. You see, they went from 23 and 4 to 49 and 4.
Big time.
That was slowed it down. You said it. I think it was about halfway down the backstretch. You said this is going to be a very heady ride from Irad. Yeah, I don't know. And Flavien Prat's not going to claim foul against Irad. Does Flavien ever claim foul against anybody?
I would like to see a headline because you just saw it there. They're showing the replay now, and the horse definitely comes out. Again, I'm not saying there should be anything done, but I would like to see what actually happened right there.
Right.
I mentioned it live as well. It's like there's a little bump. Again, if it's a tiny bump, it's not that big a deal. But did he kind of hurt him out the whole stretch? And so, who knows? I'd love to see a head on, but we're not seeing it, and they haven't lit a sign yet. So I think probably all is okay.
Well, let's I think usually by this point we get an alert, but we'll find out in a second here. As far as the Breeders' Cup goes, the 2 and the 3, they pulled away from the rest of the field, including Pure Best, an undefeated stakes winner. Both of those should go to the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies turf.
Absolutely, they should. I think it's very unlikely that the 3 gets that kind of trip again. I think the 2 may have been the better horse out of the race, but she was within range and couldn't really pass him. So that's kind of hard to say as well. I definitely think that those 2, though, should definitely go to the Breeders' Cup, and we'll see.
Let us know what you think in the comments. We'll see you at the track. Whew. All right. That was wow. This is the thing. This is what Aaron was saying. Like, we looked at the 3 and it went like the 3. Okay. Chris, I'll disagree. I think Flavian suddenly realized what Irad did halfway down the front stretch the first time, and that he moved up and said, "No, like you're not getting away from me."
So two things. One, fully agree with Magic. Two, that's not the two's job. The two is not a speed horse. Flavian moved that horse into position exactly because of what Magic said. He saw what was happening. And I even said it when they were running line. I said, shit. Flavian just said, well, if the three's on the lead, they can't be going that fast. I'll go right up there with them. You said it too. The second fraction won the race. If the three was a real good horse, he was going to, or she was going to hold on and win because he almost 50 seconds and got a huge breather there. So big time win for that three. Pleasant Passage.
All right, we've got we can take a break here with Belmont because Churchill Downs is about to get their first Breeders' Cup win in your in race going. So let's transition over to Churchill Downs here. Well, unfortunately, we can't show the replays or the races live. I wish we could. We're not that cool, but I know that for NYRA, they're putting all of their stuff on YouTube. It's free, so you can put them in a second window and just mute them, and you listen to Aaron and I talk about the race while it happens. Churchill, I don't know. I think you have to watch with an ADW for that one, unfortunately. I don't have a backdoor.
Yep. Yeah.
Are they on Fox, are we on Fox, USA, NBC? Does somebody, maybe in America, someone's got it on TV, probably.
I think Churchill is on like Day at the Races, America's Day at the Races.
Okay. The ACAC Stakes. All right, Breeders' Cup win in. You're in for the Dirt Mile. Still getting a decent price on your top pick here, too. We can talk about in a second.
Yeah. Folsom, the 3-horse, definitely one to kind of take a look at here. 3-1's not awful. I wish we could get a little bit better, but I knew that would probably happen. He'd get bet. Listen, the key to the race is Speaker's Corner. Is he going to run well? Is he going to go back to like that form that we saw at Gulfstream and Aqueduct? Or is he kind of done? He looked bad last time out at Del Mar. So, yeah, I don't know your thoughts on this one, Magic. What do you think?
I was with you. I like Folsom. I think Speaker's Corner, we talked about with Olympiad, where at some point, like he's going to run into a string of bad luck where he's going to fall off. And his string of bad luck kind of came with facing those other big names. And then he goes to Del Mar, and Mike Smith had said that, the horse, he just wasn't warming up and he was all agitated. I don't know. To me, I think the horse, I think he's definitely going to hit the board, but Folsom is one of those horses that Brad Cox is handled very well. And other than the Ali Sheba, earlier this year when he was facing Olympiad and Happy Saver, both aiming for the Breeders' Cup Classic, he's had a pretty good campaign. So been spotted pretty well. Has won 3 of 4. He's handled the slop. He's handled fast. He should be able to handle Churchill Downs too. He's 2 for 3 here.
Yeah, I think he's going to run a pretty good race. He comes in good form, which is the opposite of Speaker's Corner. But and I think Dave Barisa is right. Speaker's Corner does have a speed figure or speed. Good Lord, a pace advantage in this spot. Third time's a charm there. So that's going to be the key. He had a pace advantage in the spot last time and didn't do much running. That's the scary part. So we'll see. Jared liked the 5-3 technique a little bit, and I mentioned, and I think Christopher mentioned it. Senor Buscador, that 8-horse. I've got a little bit of theory on him. I think he's going to run decent today.
Look at that timing. Look at that timing, baby. Love it. Nobody has any idea what the hell Aaron and I are laughing about.
No, that's all right.
It's for us. That one's for us. We'll let that.
Yeah.
Listen, Senor Buscador. I need to actually turn that off. Senor Buscador is a horse that you loved ever since he was 2. That went back and rewatched the Remington Springboard Mile. He is last to first in a flash in that race. Definitely a horse. Yeah, use him underneath for that one. Silver Prospector feels like he's fallen off, and it's a horse that we really liked maybe a year ago at this time. We might have picked him in this race, but any love at all for him anymore?
He's burned me 3 million times. So I just can't anymore. I just can't do it. No, I don't have any interest. I'll make it short there. No interest in that one. No, I think one of 2 things are going to happen. Speaker's Corner's back and he's going to blaze, or it's kind of going to fall apart up front with him starting it. And here comes 3 Technique, and here comes Buscador, and Folsom's going to be there a little bit closer and gets to him quicker, right? And then it's going to be an all-out sprint to the finish. Man, I'm telling you, I like Buscador in this spot a lot. I think he's going to run extremely well. He beat Speaker's Corner last time out. People forget that. Listen, I think a 1-turn mile is perfect for him. If he gets some pace, I like him underneath a hell of a lot. I'm kind of done with Silver Prospector, so I'm sure he'll get to the winner's circle now, but I'm kind of done with him.
Perfect. I'll punch in if I'll do a Folsom Buscador exacta box here. 3-8 exacta box.
So that is the 3-8 is paying $42 for a dollar. The 8-3 is paying let's see, 94 for $2. I can't do that math in my head real quick. What is that?
47.
Yeah, 47. Yep. So it's there.
They're actually pretty similar then. Yeah, 47 or 41.
Surprising.
That you could flip them and look at that grin you've got. Yeah, you're digging Senior Buscador.
Listen, I think he's got a shot here. I think he's going to run really well. Now, look, if the speed doesn't really come back, well, he's in some trouble. He needs some help, right? As with any horse that closes. But the thing we know now, he can run 1 turn and close pretty sharply, and we're getting a little more distance today. I think he'll come running. Again, he's probably more of an underneath type, but at 10-1, that'd be just fine.
We're talking about Folsom here. He's a Juddmonte Farms homebred 4-year-old colt. I actually think that, and I think they're also by Into Mischief. There's another horse that's by Into Mischief, the Juddmonte Farms homebred 4-year-old colt. Laurel River. That's my pick right now for the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. Bob Baffert trainee. I want to see if there's any horse in here that wants to upset that. But right now, for me, Aaron, Laurel River is my top pick. It's hard to know because a lot of horses are probably going to run from Flightline in the Classic. But as it stands, do you have a top pick for the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile?
Well, I don't know if he's going to run in it or not. That's the thing. There's so many horses. I'm not sure where they're going to go. I like Cody's Wish an awful lot for that race. But I guess he's going to go there, right? I don't think he'll go in the sprint. So I do like him a lot, but we'll see. I don't know where Jack Christopher's going. I like him better for the sprint than the mile, but if he's in the mile, we'll see, maybe. So yeah, I don't hate Laurel River though as a pick. He looked very good in that race.
Jack Christopher is a horse that if they had, this is what drives me nuts about the dirt mile, is at some tracks it's 2 turns and some tracks it's 1. If they're at Churchill Downs, yeah, Jack Christopher in the dirt mile seems perfect for that setup. But, the 2 turns, we're a little concerned, even though it's only a mile. If he drew an inside post, I think we'd all feel pretty good about him. Carlos in the chat wants to know Silver Prospector. We did just talk about him, but if you just tuned in, Carlos, it's a horse that's burned Aaron and I too many times. I know he won the Steve Sexton mile earlier this year at Lone Star, and it was his first win in I think 2 years. But he's a gorgeous horse. If this race was at Oaklawn, we'd probably play him underneath.
Yeah, Carlos, I have nothing against him. I've liked him for a long time, but it's just after a while, it's too much. I just can't go back to him again. You're right, he did win the Sexton mile, but if you've been betting him all these times, you've been losing a lot before you got that win finally.
Bad news, Dave Burris, the 10 just scratched at the gate.
Oh, wow.
Twilight Blue scratch. Not even on the screen here. I must have jinxed him there. So you're going to have to reevaluate that one. Bursa says Speaker's Corner gets an easy win. Would you be surprised if Speaker's Corner just dusts this field?
No, I wouldn't be shocked because we have seen that he is capable. And I would be happy if he does it because it'd be nice to kind of see him get back in his top form, right? Because I did really like that horse a lot. He looked really poor last time out. No, that's my problem, right? So we'll see. I think, again, I think he's worth taking a shot against from a betting standpoint in this spot because of how bad he looked last time out. And if he regains his form, he's 6-5, and you're not losing a ton of earning potential, right? And again, we pounded a favorite earlier in the show, and so we got some money to play with. And this is another one where I'm going to take a swing and try to get Speaker's Corner out of the number and get kind of a ballooned price.
Here's one that we can talk about as well. I missed it earlier, Chris. I apologize. He's going to do a double here as well. We have the Lucas Classic next, which is an unofficial prep for the Breeders' Cup Classic. But Chris is going to go 358 here, which is Folsom 3 Technique and Senior Buscador. And then he's singling Happy Saver. That's a very Chris Maiello move to single Happy Saver and a double there. I don't hate it. I would replace Happy Saver with Art Collector, but I think they're both very talented horses there.
Well, I think you got to go short in that next race. And it's kind of draw a name out of the hat, right? I think it's going to be Art Collector, Happy Saver, or Hot Rod Charlie. Who wants it? That's the question. Who wants to go out there and win it? I think Hot Rod Charlie is the one that should, but I don't know that he will because he has a tough time finishing races. So that'll be interesting. I don't hate the play though, Christopher. I don't think that's too bad. Because like I said, you got to go short in that race. You're going to try to create some value here. So I like it.
All right, Dave with his revised no Twilight Blue ticket going 1 over 3 over 8 over 7. Hey, listen, you hit that super cold. We'll buy you a drink. That's pretty great. Shoddy brings up a great point. Rich Strike is in the next race. Be curious to see his prices. But all right, fun. We're in the gate. ACAC Stakes. Last horse is going in here. Speaker's Corner, the big favorite, 6-5. Folsom down to 5-2. So drawing a lot of attention, as is the 2 untreated for Todd Pletcher. They're loving those inside horses here, Aaron. Off we go.
We'll see if Speaker's Corner can return to form here. They're out of the gate, and it looked like he broke a little inward, but he's kind of recovered. We'll see. The 4 is going out to the front. Looks like the 6, the 7. Speaker's Corner did not get the lead, and that's kind of surprising to me.
I will one up. More surprising, Senior Buscador is ahead of Folsom as they hit the main track crossover here. Folsom second to last.
Well, that is very surprising without any doubt. Speaker's Corner, I don't know why Folsom's back there. Speaker's Corner kind of trying to blitz up there. Didn't it? Wow, 22.91 going a flat mile here at Churchill. They're flying, folks. Speaker's Corner is tugging. He really wants to go. And Junior says, no, we're not going.
Junior knows him as well as anyone. So, this isn't Mike Smith riding him at Del Mar. Senior Buscador looks good, dude.
Busky looks loaded. Now, I don't know if he's going to be able to finish, but he is loaded and he's getting the trip. Folsom now in dead last. Speaker is under a drive and not really doing much yet. Look at Buscador.
Oh, my goodness. Buscador, get on with your...
It's going to get interesting now. Now they're all coming. Speaker's done. Come on, Buscador. Finish this baby up. He looks great.
Buscador, baby boy.
He's drifting, though. Can he finish it off? I don't know.
Oh, Injunction's coming up the rail. Come on, the 7 Injunction.
Straighten up. Oh, I don't think he's going to be able to finish. The 7's got it.
Oh, he's got it.
No, he doesn't.
He's got it.
Buscador.
Buscador got the win.
That was awesome.
Folsom got up, I think, I'm going to guess he got 4th there. He was right in the photo for 3rd with the 4 and the 5. Hats off to you, my friend. You had Buscador. You were grinning a lot every time you'd bring up Buscador. I think he's going to do something in this race. Good job.
I did the preview for this, and I said, you better watch out for Mr. Buscador. He's running very, very well. The pace set up perfectly like we thought it would. Here's the difference in the race. He sat where Folsom should have, and Folsom sat where we thought Buscador would. Buscador got the jump on all of them. Yep. It's 2 races in a row where the trips were weird. Beautiful.
8-7, 5-4-3.
Yep.
Yeah, poor Speaker's Corner. He's Speaker's Corner needs a break.
Well, it's a terrible.
Maybe we see him in the Cigar Mile. Maybe we see him at the breeding shed. I don't know.
Well, Vicky, here's what I think happened. I feel comfortable saying it because I said it when it happened. When they entered him against Life is Good after he got smoked against Flightline, I said, that's stupid. There's no reason to do that. And if you remember, he did run fairly well in that race. But that was 2 in a row where he ran hard and got killed. And then that was it. That Del Mar race, you could tell he didn't want to be out there, and he was an easy play against in this spot. I wish I would have flipped and had Buscador on top and Folsom in second, but oh well.
That's all right. Listen, go ahead.
Well, as I say, this comment right here, he's done. He could take 2 years off. He's done. They broke him. That's
yeah. That's all right. Hey, listen, Speaker's Court aside, Senior Buscador just won a spot to the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile for winning the ACAC Stakes, a horse that you've loved since he was a 2-year-old. Big fan of Todd Fincher, big fan of the family that this horse comes from as well. Listen, there's a very select few people who follow the Southwest Circuit as closely as Aaron does and would know what we're talking about. But I know that you're over the moon when this horse and the family continue to do well.
Yeah, let me speak on this one real quick before we go on to Belmont. I love Remington Park, and this horse was a beautiful maiden 2-year-old at Remington Park. And you and I both, Magic, were like, we're going to bet this horse for the Springboard Mile. He showed up that day. He was dead last. He came with amazing run and won. I had him ranked like 5th or 6th going into the 3-year-old year. He runs once in Louisiana in a really tough race, got 5th, and then we didn't see him for like a year and a half. Just gone. Yeah. And everybody made fun of me for him. I knew this horse had talent. I've always known it. And so it was kind of nice to see him pick up a big graded stakes win. And it's super nice that this horse is going to be at the Breeders' Cup. Do I think he's going to win? Probably not. But I just love that he's there. I love that he's back. And yeah, a great job, great training job. And credit the owner for being patient and keeping with him and not giving up on him. It got annoying paying bills for a horse that wasn't running, having to nursing back to health. There's your reward today. A big win, big grade 3 win. So great job, Senior Buscador. Really happy.
Yeah, Todd Fincher is a staple in the Southwest circuits, but other than when he comes to Del Mar, you don't usually see him show up in these big races. But the family, the dam was Rose's Desert. She was 10 for 15 New Mexico bred, I think she was. And then she raced for the Peacock family and for Todd Fincher, the trainer. And then the family the kids that have come out, Runaway Ghost was won the Sunland Derby, and we were thinking could be a Kentucky Derby horse at one point up to make it in there. Multiple stakes winner. Sheriff Brown, the other horse, the old Battle Axe, that horse we wanted to try and get in the Kentucky Derby as well. But a multiple stakes winner. So Senior Buscador looking like the best of them so far. I don't know. We'll find out who our Rose's Desert has as a 2-year-old right now, because I think that's who we want to look ahead for the Derby Trail.
I'm tweeting out at Vinny from Real Dynasty because he made fun of myself for and Colin Sheehan for thinking Buscador had a shot. So I just sent a little smiley face to Mr. Vinny.
Nothing wrong with that. What do we have next? The Belmont Turf Sprint Stakes. Let me pull this one up here. I'm happy they're keeping this one on. I wasn't sure. I know that both of the turf races, I should say, stayed on.
Well, this one's a mess, right? This one's kind of crazy. We got a turf sprint. It's yielding turf. It was a tough race anyway. It looks like it's raining maybe now. Is that?
It might as well be.
Yeah. I was going to ask if Christopher, did you play Senior? You did, didn't you? In your
he's straight. So I did a double as well when I saw that, and then I just switched it with Art Collectors. So he and I are battling for the double right now.
All right. Well, now you guys are foes. So
that's all right. Chris is a big supporter of the show. I'll be okay if he knocks me out.
Oh man, yeah. This is a toughie here at Aqueduct though. Tough race.
See. Oh, and interesting. So the dollar double is paying 33 to Happy Saver, 39 to Art Collector. Is Chris and I's friendship worth $6? That's the question.
That's not bad. I mean, I would take that for sure.
Nice.
What's up?
Hey, there you go. Chris is being nice.
What is it? What did he say here? There you go. Okay. What is it paying to Hot Rod?
The double into Hot Rod is, oops, I'm on the wrong track. 31.
And what are your guys' payouts?
33 for Happy Saver, 39 for Art Collector.
Well, we're all in a fight, so we'll see what happens here because I've got Hot Rod in the double. Oh, I love that we've got these 3 trash horses here trying to cash his double after Buscador won. That's fantastic.
So none of us used Rich Strike. Is Rich Strike going to win the Lucas Classic?
What's Rick Strike paying right now? And yes is the answer, but what's he paying?
$80.
Yeah, he totally is winning. Hey, listen,
80 to 1. He's paying $80. Shit.
No, the Senior Buscador Rich Strike double is what I'm rooting for now. 1,000%.
Never in the history of horse racing has that ever happened.
Oh man, we need to do these every day. I love the live shows; they're the best.
There used to be a time when Aaron and I were never productive because we would just spend an hour and a half screwing around on StreamYard in between work.
Yeah, and now we're producing content. So
exactly. Rodney, sorry to see this. He said he started the day off 5 for 5 and now 4 straight L's. I'm guessing he means at Churchill because that was race 9 there.
Yeah.
Oof. Sorry to see that, buddy.
That's racing, Rodney. That happens, man. If you started off 5 for 5, you've been doing good. So don't worry.
See, now I kind of want to root for Happy Saver because Chris says the double might be enough to send him to the BCPC.
Okay, that's fine. Listen, I'm not going to be mad if Happy Saver wins. Now, if our collector wins, I'll be pissed. But Happy Saver, not so much.
Well, thanks. Yeah, everybody get your $2 win bets in on Rich Strike again.
It looks so nasty at Belmont right now.
Oh my God, it looks terrible.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It looks like it's raining again.
Yeah. Oh, why does Aqueduct ever look nice?
No.
Ever? Like every picture I use for the website, I'm like, God, it either looks cold or gray or cold and gray.
Yeah, you talk about like when actual Aqueduct is running, you go to Gulfstream, you go to Santa Anita, and you watch these Derby preps, and then now let's kick it to Aqueduct, and it's like, is that a third world country? I mean, are they in Russia? Like, is it 10 degrees there? It always looks so bad compared to the bright, beautiful sun of Gulfstream and Santa Anita. But anyway.
All right, let's transition. We got 4 minutes to post here. I know it's gonna be tough, but 6 furlong Belmont Turf Sprint here. We got people asking, Aaron, who's your top pick for this race?
Yeah, this is almost a just skip. I mean, I think it's going to be wild. I put Voodoo Zip on top in this spot. 5 to 1, that's decent enough. I might just have a little win money on him and forget it in this spot. This is tough. I like the 2 a little bit, but I do not like that price at all. I thought the 11 Chewing Gum at 7 to 1, not a great horse by any stretch, but that's the right price. So, I thought that horse had a little bit of a shot as well. I'm kind of everywhere in the spot. But those are kind of the top 3 that I looked at.
I am so happy, especially with the way the weather played out, that Mike and I previewed Santa Anita today instead of Aqueduct, because this race and this is a tough one. Christophe Clement with Voodoo Zip to me is a little interesting. Second off of the layoff. Looked like the horse needed to get some rust knocked off in the Lucky Coin last out, which was only a 2-month break. It was a little surprising, but I'm hoping it wasn't a case where the horse just needed Lasix because we show back up here. But Rosario is riding for Christophe Clement in a turf sprint. The horse has got talent. I think this is a logical spot for this horse to be in. I think he's got a chance.
I think they all have a shot, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, that's just it. I think there's some logical horses or logical cases you can make for a lot of these horses, no matter what. And you kind of just pick your poison and go for it, right? But I mean, look at this. It's a turf race. This 99 times out of 100 would be taken off. It looks like it's like hard rain right now. I mean, kind of look at the post parade and see who wants to actually be there. Maybe just bet that. I don't know. This is a horrific race for me.
I was looking at the value proposition. Former Chad Brown Klarovich horse was privately sold over the summer, or maybe it went as an auction, but is now with new connections here. And the trainer's not one that I'm familiar with. Looks like Gedalia Goodman only trains at Gulfstream Park, and this is only going to be the 5th different horse that the trainers put out this year, but is 2 for 4 with turf horses from Gulfstream Park. Are you familiar with Gedalia Goodman at all?
Not much. Just runs very, very few horses. I put like a big question mark over this one because from a talent standpoint, I think value proposition fits, but it is kind of weird the connections and what's going on there. Eric Cancel aboard. Yeah, I'm not real familiar with this outfit. Like I said, they don't run very many horses.
This is fascinating. He's an old Hasidic Jew, and that's how he just goes out in the he always has his yarmulke, big giant beard,
Really?
the prayer shawl. Yeah, I'm looking at a picture of him because
You sure it's the
our boy
same
Hector
person?
Barrios. It is our boy Hector Barrios who rode for him earlier in the year and won at Gulfstream. So he's 81 years old.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Well,
Interesting.
we'll see. Yes. Very fascinating.
Well, okay. So good luck with value proposition, Mr. Goodman. You learned something. See, look at this is we. Hopefully, we taught you something with 1 minute to post for the Belmont Turf Sprint.
Well, we're teaching you all kinds of ththings today, and that's what we're all about on this show.
I know that Mike Samich is always a fan of the 11 chewing gum. So, yeah, Arahan is probably going to go with that one. Scuttlebuzz 4 for 4 at Aqueduct. That's the horse all the way outside number 12. 6 for 9 at the distance. There you go. Listen, Rudy Rod's finally knocking the rust off from Saratoga. That whole bad Saratoga meet he had, he's starting to get some horses home, and you can still catch him at a price right now.
God, it looks. I won't even listen. I was watching this feed. It looks absolutely miserable there.
I was trying to figure out why you were making a face. I was like, what?
I'm just watching. It's like, God, like, what a nasty place it seems like that is today. So
Rosario is just sitting with his hand on his hip, like, can we just get this over with? Just put us in the gate so we can get out of here.
He's like, I am on this mule horse, and who knows what's going to happen here.
David also going with 8 and 11. Bursa going 5 or 11. But lots of love for the 11 here.
Well, I think chewing gum makes
7 to 1.
You know, and 7 to 1 makes sense. It's kind of that logical middle priced horse is good for good effort. Oh cow, they're almost in there.
All right, in the gate, Belmont Turf Sprint Championship Stakes. Scuttlebuzz is the horse. It's 4 for 4 at Aqueduct. Heading into the gate will be the last one in. What a disgusting looking race, but hey, at least it's turf and it's not at Churchill, so we have that going for us.
Yeah, we'll see how soft this turf course is. First race on the turf today was gate to wire, but it's a 2-turn race versus a 1-turn race, so you'd never really know how it's going to play. But it looks disgusting there today.
Really no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Oh, we got a jockey trying to get back on. It's a 7. Jose Ortiz trying to get back on.
Yeah, we didn't mention the 7 a whole lot here, so
Donk on turf.
Yeah, bet down 9 to 2. So we'll see. Here we go. We're off.
Holy cow! The 10 Dancing Buck was out like a rocket. Holy smokes!
Yeah, caught a flyer, and that could be good on this track. We're going to find out. The 11 Chewing Gum sitting in a pretty good spot there. The favorite is in third, so you know I think some logical horses out there within striking distance.
Yeah, we didn't really mention Arzak that much either for Irad Ortiz Jr. riding for Trombetta. 23 and 1, pretty much will round up for that one. Not surprising, kind of slow. Not really any pace pressure.
Got to go gate to wire here if you're the 10, right? I mean, this doesn't look like anybody's really coming from the back whatsoever as of right now. We'll see, though. Here comes the 2 kind of starting to get going, but 10's got the trip if he's good enough. Now they're starting to come at him, though. Here comes the 2
the gap just suddenly disappeared there.
Yeah, here comes the 2. Let's see, though. They haven't really asked that 10. Now they're going to ask, and let's see if he can respond. He is, and I think he's got it. Yep.
There you go. We got to gate to white. I mean, the way that horse broke, it was a very life is good style break for this horse. But I don't know, what can we learn about this race? Ooh, nice finish from the 6 there. Voodoo Zip came out of nowhere for a second.
Yeah, I think both turf races were won in gate to wire fashion, so that kind of tells you. And both horses kind of just got to the front and had it their own way. So, you know, you don't learn a ton there, but a nice win for Dancing Buck. I think the one thing you do kind of learn, and he should have rallied when asked, but he did respond when they asked him. They were kind of getting to him, and they gave him a couple of reminders, and he was kind of gone from that point. So I don't think you got any big time turf sprint for the Breeder Cup type horses, but it was a nice little win there.
23 and 1, 46 and 1, the opening fractions. You're going to need to be about 2 seconds faster in both of those if you want to keep up with Golden Pal in the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint at Keeneland. But let us know what you think about that one. That was good for them, good for the connections. The perfect ride for Manny Franco getting a flyer like that out of the gate. That's about all we can take away from that. Let us know what you think. No fanfare on that one. I don't care.
That was pretty
Breeders'
boring.
Cup race. It was. I kept because off the turn it looked like the 10 was coming back to me. Like, all right, now we've got something interesting, and just never materialized. Unless you bet the 10. If you bet the 10, that was a very exciting race.
Absolutely, yeah. You're doing a moon dance down the stretch because you knew pretty quick there wasn't anybody coming after him once he responded. So yeah, I mean that's one. I mean, I just didn't even care about it. It just was not a great race whatsoever, and the weather just made it worse. So we're 9 minutes or 10 minutes, 9 minutes to the Lucas Classic now.
Is that what happened to Scuttlebuzz? Scuttlebuzz was way at the back and was trying to make up ground, but I thought did okay. I was watching the 12, Chris. It just didn't work out. All right, yeah, this is the race that's the showdown, the Lucas Classic. We've got you've got Hot Rod Charlie in the double. I've got Art Collector, and Chris has Happy Saver.
Yep. This is going to get interesting here, and Christopher's right. That was definitely kind of a filler. Kind of get some of the lower class horses in a stakes race while the higher class ones are pointing to Keeneland.
Yeah. Don't worry, Bursa. We'll get you back on this one. Is Manny Franco learning not to choke a horse out of the gate then? Slowly. Very slowly.
Yeah. Yeah. Rich Strike's 3-1. Thoughts?
He's 2 for 2 at Churchill on the dirt. He's a horse for course.
So here's what I'll say. I would have been shocked if he won the Belmont. I would have been shocked if he won the Travers. I will not be shocked if he wins today. Because it's an easier group, I think. You got horses that can't win's not the right word, don't really like to win.
Yes.
He's back at home. And there's a shot you could see some pace in this race. If Art Collector and Hot Rod go out and kind of battle, you could see some pace and they could come back to him. You saw a total pace meltdown in the last race. If that happens again, he's got a shot today.
Yeah, like you and Nana are saying the same thing. It depends on a pace collapse for him. There are 2 horses in Happy Saver and Hot Rod Charlie that I think struggle to win. The horse right there on the screen, Art Collector, he doesn't. That horse wins a lot. I mean, if you scratch off when he shipped overseas, and then you look at the only other bad performance he's had in the last year and a half was the Breeders' Cup Classic, and that's because he was the only horse that decided to chase Knicks Go early. I don't know. To me, I think Art Collector stands out a little bit on paper here against the rest of these horses.
Yeah, I think Art Collector, from a standpoint of you're looking who wins races, certainly it's him. If you're looking from a standpoint of who's faster, it ain't him. It's definitely Hot Rod Charlie or Happy Saver. So that's where the speed figures versus the form comes into play, and it's quite the debate when you get onto that margin, because Happy Saver and Hot Rod have higher speed figures than Art Collector. But you just said it, Art Collector wins races. These other 2 don't, and so that's going to be the interesting battle in this race, without any doubt. And then, like I said, you've got the odd one in Rich Strike. The old handicapper and the people who've been in the game a while will hate this comment, and they'll argue with me, but I'll argue right back with them. A 3-year-old facing older means absolute jack shit when you get to this point in the season. I don't care that it's. I think the 3-year-olds. If Epicenter was in this race, I would play Epicenter. If Cyberknife was in this race, I might play Cyberknife. Like, I don't care that he's a 3-year-old facing older. I think this is an easier spot than the Travers, without any doubt.
I agree. And again, a lot of it's because a lot of the horses he's facing don't really like to win. They always find a reason to not win. Aaron and I were talking about this earlier when we were looking at the double rates. Based off the pools, Rich Strike is not going to be nearly this close. So there's a lot of, going back to what Kevin said, there's a lot of $2, probably heavier than two, but a lot of $2 bets happening here with Rich Strike.
Yeah, exactly. And that's your quote unquote, I don't know what, like real money is going to be on doubles and pick threes, stuff like that, where your win pools can kind of get fluctuated because of that. Hey, Rich Strike's running. Let's bet him. Okay, cool. But they're not betting doubles with him and stuff like that. So that's why you're going to see that kind of that discretion a little bit there. What I wonder, let me look at the place and show money. Yeah, I mean, he's got 18% of the win, place, and show. All three are 18%. So maybe people are playing him to win place and show as well.
Just can't do it.
No, I mean, I think he's got a shot, but I think 7-2 is a little short.
Listen, we were not gonna be able to talk about the awesome again, just because we won't be live by that point. Just too much time to kill. But Nana brings it up. We can discuss it quick. Any chance Royal Ship wins the awesome again? In your opinion, or is Country Grammar unbeatable there? Like I mentioned earlier, we covered on the Magic Mike show. Mike and I both liked Express Train in this, and then we differed from there. I went Royal Ship, and he went Country Grammar. Where'd you go?
I went Country Grammar and Royal Ship, but Nana, I think it's nip and tuck. I do not think Country Grammar is unbeatable at all. And the reason I say that is we've seen Royal Ship beat that horse a couple of times, including right there at that track and at that distance. Now, overall, I do think Country Grammar is I should say is capable of running a little faster. But I think it's going to be a really, really tough test for Country Grammar today. And I think if Royal Ship brings it, he's got a shot. Express Train's a horse that always runs well at Santa Anita too. I think it's going to be one of those three, which isn't going out on a limb or anything. But no, I don't think Country Grammar is like just a stone cold lock in that race.
The Country Grammar for me, I think we're at 1.25 miles. That's where Royal Ship falls off, but that's also where Country Grammar excels. I think 1.1 miles that makes him vulnerable. Royal Ship doesn't like Del Mar. He does like Santa Anita, and he's beaten Country Grammar going 1.1 miles at that track. So Royal Ship throws in a lot of clunkers. He usually rebounds pretty well after throwing in a clunker. Express Train was my top pick though, and I almost never even pick him, let alone make him a top pick. But he's a horse for course. He loves Santa Anita. 1.1 miles is right where he needs to be. Pacific Classic, he was coming back from a bit of a break. He'd had a little bit of an illness after the Californian Stakes. So I'm going to play him back here off of the break. I think the distance is good for him as well. Did you use him underneath Express Train in the Awesome again?
Yeah, I did. I think this is a horse that you can kind of count on to show up at Santa Anita and run pretty well. I don't ever get on the right side of him, which means he's probably going to win today because I've got him underneath and he'll probably beat who I put on top, So he's dependable to show up. That's how I would describe him. I don't think he's great, but he'll show up and give you an effort today.
We got 2 minutes here for the Lucas Classic. People still putting their picks in here. Dave says he's got Art Collector going gate to wire. If Art Collector wins, is that how he gets the job done, Aaron?
I think so. I think you got to go out there and take it to him. And I think the real chess match is going to be Art Collector and Hot Rod Charlie, because I think Hot Rod Charlie, how he wins this race, go out there and take it to him. And so who gets the lead? What jockey's the most aggressive? Luis Saez is pretty darn aggressive. So I would think Art Collector is going to get out there to the front. I think the key with him, he needs to be a little bit clear of them as they turn for home. And I think if he is, he's going to be really tough to run down. As far as Hot Rod Charlie, we've seen it, man. He will battle and he will hang with horses. So what does he need to do? Get ahead of them when they get into the stretch. So that's going to be the key. What jockey gets position, what horse feels like they want to go out there and get the lead. And if they both fly, that's when you're worried about old Richie Striker on the rail. And of course, Happy Saver as well. So, but yeah, if Art Collector wins, it's going to be gate to wire most likely.
So I'm looking at the show pool. Hot Rod Charlie has a third of the show pool to himself. Second is Happy Saver, and he has almost 50% of Hot Rod Charlie's show pool. But I bring that up because Happy Saver, don't forget, started his career 5 for 5, winning a grade 1 race, going 1.25 miles against older horses. And then he's 0 for 6 since then, but he's never missed the board. The horse always shows up. It's such a backwards form to look at sometimes.
It is. They're frustrating horses. I mean, we've cashed on them underneath, so they haven't been that frustrating to us. But in a situation like this, where you kind of counting on them, that's when they can get a little bit iffy. So this is a fascinating race, really fascinating race.
All right, we're waiting on 2 more in the gate for the Lucas Classic, a race that produced last year's Breeders' Cup Classic winner, Knicks Go. We'll see if, well, I don't know. If Flightline doesn't make the gate, I think we understand the Classic's pretty open. But Chess Chief going to be the last one in. Aaron, you expecting to see Art Collector on the lead out of the gate?
Yeah, we'll see what happens. They just broke, so we'll see if he actually gets to the lead here. They kind of broke in a line. We'll see who kind of naturally gets out to the front. And looks like Art Collector is going to take that lead. Hot Rod Charlie going to stalk him, and Chess Chief up there early as well, although the 2 and the 5 starting to pull away.
Yeah, the Saez did have to use Art Collector a little bit. He was not the quickest out of the gate. He needed to get pushed a little bit to at least clear the 1 horse, King Fury. 23.5 for the opening. We're going a mile and an eighth. I'd expect we're going to see them slow it down on the back stretch here now that they've got their position.
Yeah, I think both these horses, the 2 and the 5, got the position you kind of want, and now it's just a matter of getting comfortable, which both of them look to be, and you know, they're going to have every shot to try to hold off these closers. By the way, Rich Strike, quick mention to him, he's 4th, so I thought he'd be closer to last. He's in 4th. He's off the rail. That's interesting, and Happy Saver right there too. So the main contenders are right there now.
I honestly don't remember. Did Eric Reed say that Rich Strike hates being inside horses or outside horses?
Outside horses. So very interesting that he is outside right here. Now's the moment of truth. Will Art Collector kind of hold on here? What's going to happen?
Hot Rod's looking pretty nice there.
Hot Rod looks great, but he's looked great a lot turning for home, and he doesn't finish it. I'm trying to talk him into it today because I have him on top. Let's see if Hot Rod can finish this deal. Art Collector's battling. You know this is going to be a battle because Hot Rod just cannot finish. He's got it in front. He's just got to hold off Rich Strike. It's going to get
Happy
tight.
Saver, all sorts of trouble with traffic. Happy Saver. Oh,
and
boy.
Look at this. Rich Strike's going to win this thing unless Hot Rod battles back. It's going to get tight.
Oh, Hot got him.
Hot Rod battled back.
Hot Rod got him. Wow.
Unbelievable. What a race. Man, that was worth.
And by the way, Happy Saver off the board.
Well, I think he got cut off. I about had an aneurysm watching this. I think Rich Strike cut him off pretty badly. They're watching the replay. Here we go. Here's the replay back.
No, the 5, he got forced up into the Hot Rod Charlie, and he had momentum and had nowhere to go.
Yeah,
Rich
I don't
Strike
really think
forced
that's
him into Hot Rod.
on Rich Strike. Yeah. Wow. Well, I cashed the double. Unbelievable.
How did he not win that?
I don't know. Hot Rod definitely got it. I have no idea. That is the most unlike Hot Rod thing ever, right?
That's the opposite of what he does.
He dug down
Rich Strike
and
did
him off. Charlie. That's one of the best races of the year as far as just excitement. I'm not talking about the performance, but just really exciting. Right here, I'm like, great, good for him. You know, good for Rich Strike. But wow. Great race.
So the most surprising thing to me, I mean, again, he had a bad trip. Happy Saver off the board. That's a permanent mark on his record. That is oof. That's tough. Boy, Hot Rod Charlie is obviously going to go to the Breeders' Cup Classic. Eric Reed had said maybe that, or maybe we wait for the Clark, which will be a mile and eighth at Churchill Downs after the Breeders' Cup and decidedly easier than the Classic. What do you think? What do you do with these horses?
I mean, you got to have to make up some ways for them to beat Flightline. But if Flightline isn't there, everybody kind of gets into the mix. These horses probably aren't winning the Classic no matter what. But They're fun. They're fun horses, right? Rich Strike always fun when he runs, and Hot Rod put up a fantastic effort. I mean, you go to the Classic with them and hope for the best. That's what I would do. It's a $5 million race. You got to go give it a shot.
Chris, spoken like a guy that had a nice double to Happy Saver. Rich Strike fouled the hell out of him. I don't think he fouled him. He just that was uncharacteristic for John Velasquez to get himself in trouble like that. I think maybe he thought that Hot Rod was gonna. He shouldn't have thought Hot Rod was gonna kick clear. That's never anything anybody should think is gonna happen.
I'm tweeting out now how excited I am for that result. It was just such a good race. Yeah,
I mean, it really was.
Hold on here. Yeah, that was. It was
so once
great.
again, the question remains: will the Kentucky Derby winner ever win again?
You know, he's really backed it up. The Belmont was not good, but his Travers was good, and this race was good. He's a good horse, you know. And I was definitely one that was not a fan of his, but he's a good horse. He's a real good horse, and you know, hey, he was maybe a lucky Kentucky Derby winner. He's a tough luck loser today. He had that race, and old Hot Rod just rallied on him somehow. God, betting on Hot Rod Charlie is the worst feeling in the world because he turned for home and you said it. It's like, oh, he's got this. And he looked great. And I'm convinced that he is capable of kicking on. He just won't do it. And about 2 seconds after he took the lead, I thought, no, this is going to be just a gut-wrenching stretch because he's going to let everybody get involved. And anyway, that's what happened.
Wow. I mean, I almost wanted Rich Strike to win that now that I think about this. It's just the chaos.
Yeah.
Because, then they would exactly skip the Breeders' Cup and stay for the Clark. And then suddenly you've got a 2 to 5 shot in the Clark and it's a Rich Strike. And we're going, are we really going to play Rich Strike at 2 to 5 in the Clark?
I mean, here's the deal. I like that he ran so well. I think people are going to be on him for the Classic now. And and this is not a knock on him. I don't think he has a chance in the Classic, but I would love for him to be there. He's going to take money because he's Rich Strike. Good effort, man. Listen, we talk about this race all week. It's like, yeah, I don't know if these horses are that great, but I think it's going to be a fun one. That was a fun race. I mean,
it was
a ton of fun.
I didn't cash a single bet on it. It was a fun race. And Chris brings up Flatter's Epicenter's Travers even more. It's my boy. Come on, Epicenter.
At this point, I'll have Epicenter second, Taiba third, Life is Good fourth in the next poll. I really think Epicenter has turned into a monster of a horse. And I think Taiba is starting to be that horse that we thought he was. And I think they're the big challengers if Flightline does not show up for the Classic.
Do we see Epicenter as a 4-year-old past the Pegasus?
I hope and pray because I think he is a monster. I think he has turned into something great. When you look at him, even before the Derby, I thought, yeah, he's good. I don't think he's great. You look at him now, I think he's great. Like that's not easy to go stomp those horses in the Travers, right? And he did it. And he stomped them in the Jim Dandy without even being asked. So I think he's really, really good. I think he's turned into a special one. And it's in one way, it's great that you're going to get to see a horse like Flightline. In another way, it kind of sucks because it would be an amazingly competitive race to see Taiba and Epicenter and Olympiad and Life is Good. Throw him in there, sure. And maybe Country Grammar if he looks great today. Even throw Hot Rod in there. It's competitive, So, but yeah, I'm going on and on about nothing because Flightline will probably be there and it won't matter.
Well, it's nice to have one free space at the World Championships because Lord knows some of those other races are not. They're the opposite of a free space. Chris is talking about Epicenter. I don't understand horse flesh, but Epicenter's ears and the Jim Dandy being pointed straight up forward as if to say, "Want to do another lap?" was something else. Yeah, when you see a horse, this too, Aaron. You see a horse like Pharaoh come off the turn and they hit the stretch and those ears are just up. There's just like a special chill that goes down your body when you see that as a bettor.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what it means. It just means the horse is happy, alert. He's, as life is good, watch his ears. He pins them back. That means he's pissed off today. So, yeah, you want to see that from a horse. Rabbit ears. That's what we kind of talk about. Sometimes I knock my microphone over. So, yeah, definitely. And he didn't have that look early on in this season, but he was a young 3-year-old. Now he's a developed 3-year-old. And God, for my money, he's I think he would have won the Woodward today if he was in that race. So,
Yep. All right, we're back at Belmont at the Big A. We got one more race there.
Before you go on,
yes,
this comment, you cannot say that about Flightline. Go watch his races. He wasn't on the lead in either of his last 2 races. Now, Life is Good, you could say it for sure. Flightline has passed horses. He stalked the pace the last 2 races.
He met Miles specifically. He blew the break, and it was like I was trying to beat him in the Met Mile with Speaker's Corner. Everything that I had said needed to happen for Speaker's Corner to win happened. He broke cleanly. Flightline blew the break and had to trail. It didn't matter a single bit.
No. Well, and
I'll pull it up here.
The Pacific Classic going 1.25 miles, I was like, just get him to the lead and forget it. He was not on the lead. He took the lead up the backstretch, but he was not on the lead to start. And yeah, you got to pull that up. I see it in the background.
Stop stalking me there.
Pull it up, Magic. Here is
here you go. So Flightline's on the rail. Speaker's Corner is number 2. Watch Flightline. I was trying to beat him because I really thought this could happen, and it didn't matter.
Well, that was dumb to try to beat him. You should listen to me. But
look, he blows the break. 2 is going to take the lead, and 2 is going to out hustle him and cross over on him.
Yeah.
And by the way, there's poor Happy Saver.
Oh, poor Happy Saver. Yeah. So you look, I guess technically he passed 3 horses. He was behind the 4 for a split second. So right here is when you're like, oh, he's just going to go to the lead. And then nope, they cut him off. And so there
back
you go.
And out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And you're right. We, Jared and I had a 1-4 exacta. Well, was Happy Saver the 4? He wasn't he?
Yep.
No, he was the.
Yeah.
Oh, he was the 4. We had a 1-4 exacta. At this point, I'm like, yeah, shit, maybe he's not going to fire. And then he just passes Speaker's Corner with no problem whatsoever. And that's the thing. Like a lot of people are like, well, with Life is Good in the race, there'll be a speed duel and they'll wear him down. No, he doesn't go to the front. He hasn't. I mean, he can. He's capable, but his last 2 races, he has not gone to the front. He stalked.
You remember last year, not an exact comparison, but last year at the Breeders' Cup Classic, it was Life is Good or Knicks Go. And we're like, well, yeah, but like Knicks Go he goes straight to the lead and nobody ever goes with him. We're like, but Life is Good is a different kind of a speed. And Life is Good is going to be faster than him out of the gate. And what happened? I'm sorry, the Pegasus. I said Breeders' Cup. The Pegasus is what I was talking about. It beat him out of the gate in the Pegasus. And it was almost kind of like Flightline in the, look at this. It's almost like Flightline in the Pacific Classic where he was so far gone. Knicks Go probably thought he won because he was, beat everybody else. That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll throw this comment up as we're kind of talking about it. I don't know how far are we to the next race? I don't want to get a
6 minutes. We're still good.
Okay. I'll throw this comment up because I totally agree with it. I think Flightline is the only horse right now that could beat Epicenter at 1.25 miles. I'm with you. And if Flightline falters, and by that meaning he just doesn't show up with an A effort or even maybe a B effort, Epicenter will go get him, but he can't go get him if he's not within range of him. And that's the scary thing, right? Like if Flightline turns for home and he's already like 6 in front of him, he ain't going to get him because nobody is, right? But if he could turn for home and it's like, yeah, he's not firing with his biggest race and he's almost there, but then here comes Epicenter, like he will go get him if he allows him to.
It was funny that that comment came up because that was something I said to you. Was that the only horse that I think can beat Epicenter is Flightline, or the only one I think can contend with him. Vice versa would be Epicenter Flightline. So
yeah, no, and I think that's the key, right? And it's just we need I'm in that Epicenter, in the Epicenter camp with you. We've loved this horse. We've gushed on him for months. I'm in that camp. I want him to win, but I also can see with my eyes that we need a toe stub, right? We need Flightline to show up and just not run all that well. So hopefully.
I love Dave. Let's just watch every Flightline replay till instead of the champagne. That'd be a good way to end things.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it though. The Champagne Stakes here, the last one for our coverage. By the way, if you've stuck with us, thank you so much. It's been an eventful hour and a half plus that we've been doing this. But one more race, the Grade One Champagne, the Breeders' Cup winning you're in for the Juvenile, and just 6 horses in here. Gulfport on all the way on the outside is your current 9-5 favorite, slightly over verifying the son of Justify, who is a half to Midnight Bisou. Where'd you go with your top pick here, bud?
Yeah, this is going to be a really interesting race. I'm really excited for it. I wish this was a fast track. I hate that it's sloppy. I hope that doesn't change things, but it probably will. I went Top Recruit, the 2-horse on top in the spot, getting better every race. Last time out, beat Curly Jack. Curly Jack came back to win the Iroquois. They were well clear of the 3rd place horse in that Ellis Park Juvenile. So I really like those 2 coming out of it. Comes up here to New York and gets Irad. And Irad had been aboard the 1 and jumps onto the 2. Thought that was a good sign. So I like Top Recruit in the spot. I really like the price of a 9-2. No problem if you want to take a shot with a 3. That breeding is fantastic. No doubt about it. The brother of Midnight Bisou, correct? Isn't it Midnight Bisou?
Yep.
Yeah. So horse is going to have to improve a little bit second out, but should. It's second race. So we'll see on that one. But I ended up landing on Top Recruit. I like the upside with this horse, and I like the experience coming into the race.
Well, you also forgot that to mention the horse faced Tyler's Tribe, the Iowa bred wonder, who is probably 1-20 to win is it the Iowa Cradle Stakes tonight that he's in?
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. Tyler's Tribe, a horse out of Sharp Azteca, really, really good. He has been dominating horses, including this horse that I picked to win the Champagne. And you said it. He runs tonight in the Iowa Cradle Stakes at Prairie Meadows. I know you're probably thinking, I don't care about Prairie Meadows. You need to watch Tyler's Tribe tonight. He is really, really good.
He's a fun one. Curly Jack was a horse that actually was my pick to win the Juvenile Stakes. So I thought it was nice that he came back to win the Iroquois. The buyer for that wasn't super strong. What do you think about the 4 Champions Dream? We have 2 kids of Justify in here, and this is the other one. Debut winner for Danny Gargan, who Luis Saez rode on debut. Saez was Churchill riding art collector. He probably now in hindsight wishes he had stayed in New York for this race instead, possibly. But, the Dam won a grade 2 going a mile in her second start. A lot of win early potential here with the 4.
Yeah, I like the 4 quite a bit. I think this is one that, just like the 3, good race on debut, could probably step forward today and do just fine. Had a lot of hype. Danny Gargan horse went off at 6-5 on debut in a maiden special weight at Saratoga. Obviously, a lot of people like this horse. Blazing workouts, absolutely, no doubt. So I like the 4 Champions Dream a lot in this spot. We'll see if, 7-1, hopefully that holds. That's a really good price on that one.
It was a horse that I remember hearing a little bit about heading into the start of the Saratoga summer. And you mentioned it, Danny Gargan you never see him get those debut winners like that. With the slop that we're seeing here, Gulfport, I don't know if the slop bothered him so in the hopeful if that was what the issue was, but he's got the experience, and Forte doesn't show up here. Gulfport was 9 lengths clear of Blazing Sevens in third in that race in the slop. So, you'd think that the slop experience here for Gulfport could aid him, and maybe that's why he's such a short price at 3-2.
Well, look, I still think he's got a little bit of talent, but this horse has been a beaten favorite 2 races in a row. He caused his own problem last time out. I can't get there. I can't get there with Gulfport today. Not at this price. I think he's talented. I'd love to see him win, but I just don't want to back him at 8-5.
Stretch up. All right, we're in the gate for the Grade 1 Champagne Stakes. This is Breeders' Cup winning year for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile race. The Good Magic, we famously watched this horse get second, and then he went off to the Breeders' Cup Juvenile 1. We'll see in a minute if we think the Breeders' Cup Juvenile winner comes out of this. Probably not. I think he's in California. But an interesting mix here. You also have the one Andiamo Firenze, a half-brother of Firenze Fire, who won this race in 2017. That ended up being a Good Magic that year, I believe. So we'll end up seeing what happens here. Final pick, Top Recruit.
Yeah, I picked Top Recruit. Let's see if we can get back to back here. I'll have to ride that Hot Rod Charlie wave. But listen, wide open race here.
Off we go.
Oh, he broke shitty. Oh,
Well, it wasn't the best break, no.
it was the worst break. You kidding me? He's last. Top Recruit. Damn it.
Andiamo Forense going right to the lead, and he's a perfect 2 for 2 in the slop. You don't know if that was also against New York bred, so you don't know which was it, the competition, the track condition, or both. Verifying is going to go the only horse that decided to go inside. Everybody else went outside, and Verifying says, "I'll go inside here." Do you have a good feeling about Top Recruit now that the race is kind of settled, or are you really not like that he's so far back?
No, he's in a terrible spot. The one definitely has been great on the slop, as you mentioned. So let's see. 2 jockeys jumped off the one to ride other horses. So we'll see if the one kind of make them all look dumb. Good trip, good in the slop, but here comes the big test. They're going to start coming to him now, and we'll see what happens.
The 5 Blazing Sevens is, I think, is looking at least better than the hopeful. The Manny Franco off of that horse on the 4. Flavien Prat picking up the 5. This one is we're at the quarter pole. We'll see what can happen here.
Let's see.
Almost blew the turn a little bit.
Gulfport's trying to bear down on him. The 3's trying to bear down. I think the 3
Blazing Sevens.
Blazing Sevens. Yep. Oh, it's going to be 3 or 5.
He's got it. He's got it.
I think the 5's got it. Yep, 5's got
Yep.
it. Blazing Sevens, 8-1. Nice win.
Man, very nice effort. And the horse came from off the pace both times. I know Mike Samich, that was the reason that he liked this horse to make some noise as well. Very impressive effort. I thought the horse with a little bit of, the son of good magic, being able to do what his dad wasn't able to do and get the victory here.
Beautiful, beautiful race there for Blazing Sevens. Samich called this one, and he was exactly right. He thought that the pace would kind of melt down. Really not a reason why that pace would have melted down like that, but it did. And Blazing Sevens was the only one finishing with any kind of run whatsoever. The 3 ran okay, but just kind of ran in place in the stretch a bit. And there's Gulfport again, hitting the board. Just an overhyped horse.
Yeah, well, listen, the way the horse looked at Churchill Downs early in the career, winning the Bashford Manor so impressively, with the connections and everything, you thought for sure this horse would continue, at least as a 2-year-old going one turn, keep it going. But it's another excuse, another race where Gulfport gets an excuse. And at this point in their careers, we've seen this enough, Aaron, you got to stop playing them because they turn into wit. As far as the winner here, Blazing Sevens, the Dam was a 2-time winner going 2 turns, and a son of good magic who won the Haskell, almost won the Kentucky Derby. I think as this horse goes 2 turns in the Breeders' Cup at Keeneland, looking pretty good.
Well, it did help his dad to go 2 turns, won that race as a maiden. So that certainly could happen here with Blazing Sevens. Here's the problem. Bob Baffert. There's the problem.
Yeah. There's a horse named Cave Rock that's going to be running in the American Pharoah Stakes next weekend at Santa Anita Park. One of 3 Bob Bafferts. He also has, I believe, Newbarka and Hijazi going to that one. But Cave Rock, everybody at the Racing Dudes team, that's our pick for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Let us know what you think about this race. Blazing Sevens looking pretty darn good for Chad Brown and Flavien Prat. What did you think about the races overall today, Aaron? It was a good day, an exciting day. Maybe we didn't hit all the bets we wanted.
Yeah, I was on a real high until the 2 didn't break from the gate. And so that, and then I was like, we don't even get a chance. Yeah, I don't think he crossed at all, did he?
He did.
Yeah.
He was distanced. Yeah.
Gosh, that sucked. But anyway, no, it was a fun day. We kind of knew coming in it was going to be a day where you didn't get to see like the big time heavy hitting horses, but you see a lot of pretty solid ones. And I think we did, we still got some good racing to go. We're going to get off the air, but we got good racing to go at Santa Anita as well. 3 stakes races left. So still a little bit to watch, but it was definitely a very, very fun afternoon.
It was fun. Thanks so much for joining us. Before you leave, make sure you like the video, subscribe to youtube.com/racingdudes. If you haven't yet, we'll be back next Saturday. There'll be a lot more action. We've got Santa Anita. I think Belmont's probably, or Aqueduct has some more stuff as well. I haven't looked ahead. And then we've got Keeneland coming back as well. We got 2 weekends of Keeneland races. So we'll be doing these live feeds on Saturdays. Please join us. It's a lot of fun. Until next time, I'm Magic. He's Aaron. I forgot he doesn't do any of this stuff. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll be back at noon Eastern on Sunday, October 2nd for another Dudes Who Bet Daily. We're doing pretty good so far today. We'll keep it going. Thanks again for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time. Which button is it? There it is. Bye.
And take a good look at this, because you're not going to see this too often. Maybe never again. Flightline.